My friends and I spent a month in Japan getting to know the language, the food, and the people. We wanted to take you through our journey and show you just how much this amazing country has to offer. Here is just a glimpse. Day 1 was our first day of travel. We would be going from Colorado Springs to Dallas, and from Dallas to Narita, where we would spend the night before heading to Wakayama. Early that morning, all 11 of us loaded up a bus and departed from Usafa. Things were going pretty smooth. That is, until our first flight was delayed, leaving us very little time to make our connecting flight to Japan.
It's 11:45. It's 11:45, and our flight leaves in 20 minutes.
No, 10 minutes.
Oh, it leaves in 10 minutes.
It stops boarding in 10 minutes.
Oh,
So we don't have much time.
we have like almost zero time.
No, we're done for. We're done for.
All right, let's go.
With just seconds left, as the gate was about to close, all 12 of us boarded our flight. We were finally on our way to Japan.
We actually made it.
Once we arrived in Narita, we hopped on a bus and headed for the hotel. After a bit of exploring, I decided to exchange some US currency for Japanese yen. This is a super simple process, and I recommend doing it as soon as you get to Japan. After dinner, and then some snacks from the 7-Eleven, we decided to head up to the room and get some rest. Tomorrow, we are headed to Wakayama. After getting ready that morning, Mike and I went on a short walk around the hotel. Our epic journey led us to a beautiful street corner. However, we regrouped at the hotel where we hopped on a bus to go back to the airport. From the airport, we would fly to Osaka. If you're ever at an airport in Japan, I highly recommend looking at the shops located at each gate. They're a great place to pick up some cool omiyage. Once we landed in Osaka, we hopped on a bus to Wakayama, where we would wait at the YMCA for our host families to come pick us up. Here's my host brother Shua and my host mom Yoshimi-san. Every morning I would ride my bike to the local train station, which I would then take to get to Wakayama Station, where Chris, Shane, and I would get a coffee and do our homework. From there, it was a short walk to the YMCA, where we had language class for 4 hours every day. After every class, we would go on a field trip to explore different parts of Japan and gain some cultural immersion. Although I wasn't able to capture every single event, I've included most of the highlights, including our trip to Hiroshima, Tokyo, and Koyasan. Enjoy! One of our first ventures was to Wakayama Castle, which was originally built in the 16th century during the Tensho period. It sits at the heart of Wakayama and boasts beautiful scenery and foliage, including trees that are hundreds of years old. A short walk takes you to one of the castle shrines, where before entering you stop at the Temazuya to wash your hands as an act of purification. If you choose to pray at the shrine, it's important to bow, clap twice, and then bow twice again. On your way out, make sure you turn around and bow twice as well. After another short walk through the castle grounds, we entered the castle's inner gates, went through the castle garden, and began the climb to one of the best views in Wakayama. This was a special experience for all of us, as it was our first true field trip in Japan. If you're ever in town, this historic site is a must-see. Our next venture was to the Iwase Senzuka Kufun Cluster, a historical site in Japan consisting of over 900 burial mounds, or kufun. From the museum to the reconstructed settlements, Iwase Senzuka offers a detailed look into some of Japan's earliest history. On my first weekend in Japan, I went with my host family to Nara Park inside the Nara Prefecture. The area is famous for its small shika deer, which are said to be messengers of the Shinto gods. Nara is home to Toraiji, or the Great Eastern Temple. It falls under the Buddhist religion and includes structures like Nigatsuro, the Great Buddha Bell, and the famous Great Buddha Hall, which is home to one of the largest bronze Buddhas in the world. Our next big trip was to Hiroshima-shi, the capital city of the Hiroshima Prefecture. For many of us, this was our first time on the Shinkansen, a bullet train that goes all over Japan and travels up to 275 miles per hour. After stopping by the hotel, our group visited the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, which is home to the Ginbaku Dome and serves as a place for prayer and a symbol of permanent world peace. The next day, we hopped on a local train which took us to Miyajima-guchi, where we then boarded a ferry which took us to the island of Miyajima. The small island was certainly a group favorite, with amazing cuisine from the fresh seafood to the infamous momiji manju. The island is mainly known for its forest and ancient temples, which date back to the 12th century and remain a holy place for the followings of both Buddhist and Shinto religions. On one of our day trips, we took a bus from Wakayama City to the mountain village of Koyasan. The center for Shingon Buddhism, Koyasan is home to around 50 temples which serve as the beginning and end for the Shikoku 88 Temple pilgrimage. The mountain village is also home to Oku no Oin, the cemetery of 20,000 monks and one of Japan's most sacred places. We wrapped up our month in Japan with a weekend in Tokyo, Japan's bustling capital. There's so much to do here you could probably spend a month alone exploring the city. That being said, some of the highlights include street shopping in Shibuya, Akihabara, the electric town which is best viewed at night, and the Shibuya skyscraper, which offers a 360 view of the Tokyo skyline. Although a bustling city, Tokyo has no shortage of nature, to include the forest shrine Meiji Jingu and Shinjuku Gyoen Park. Our month in Japan was filled with so much, it would be hard to capture everything in one video. Every day was something new and exciting. One day we were learning shodo, traditional Japanese calligraphy. The next, we were driving an hour into the countryside to make washi, a type of traditional Japanese paper made from tree fibers and pulped used for writing and making art, a style that dates back hundreds of years. We were fortunate to have an amazing group of teachers and mentors that allowed us to experience Japanese culture to the fullest. Things like learning to play music on the taiko drum and then attempting to remember it, or having a takoyaki party on our last day of class. These are just examples of the amazing experiences afforded to us by even more amazing individuals. From all of us at USAFA to our amazing teachers, guides, and host families.
本当にありがとうございます。
ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。どうもありがとうございます。ありがとう。
どうもありがとうございました。